What up, YouTube? Welcome back. Season 4, Episode 1. We ready to do this thing one more again. Your man Don Newman back in the building. Rice Owls, number 19, coming into the season with a top 25 team rank, with a top 25 ranked team. After going 13 and what did we go 13-1 last season, I believe. Let me think about this. Hold on, let me check this 1 second. Yeah, that's right. We went 13-1. Sorry, y'all. My age is catching up with me. You feel me? Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm recording all this. It's almost like this is recorded live. You feel me? It's recorded live. It's not live, but it's recorded live. But yeah, so we're back in the building. You know what I'm saying? Excited for season number 4. We're about to kick some tail. Same, you know, similar structure as previous seasons. We might switch it up just a tad bit. We'll start with a review of our schedule. Then we're gonna kick off the conference outlook. Then we'll go all the way back around to the roster review, the recruiting overview. If we have time at that point, we'll look at the playbook overview. And then if we still have time, we'll look at team practice. I'm trying to keep these you know, season 1 videos under let's call it under 50 minutes if I can, so we may not get through all this stuff on the list because it's a lot, but let's get started. Whoa. All right, so to get started here, we'll look at the team schedule. So our schedule for the season, this one was ranked C- by the computer system. So, you know, it's getting up there, getting better than what it was before for a ranked team. It is what it is. Let's see, just scrolling through real quick. Yep, none of our conference teams are ranked, so we'll get better. It's just that I had to keep South Alabama. I didn't have to, but I wanted to keep South Alabama in there to do a home and home with them. We keep Houston on there because that's our arch rival. Then we got to have the cupcake. The cupcake is Utah State. So the ranked team that we played this year is going to be Stanford. Next year, when South Alabama falls off, I'll put a more difficult team in their slot, and then we'll play Stanford at home like that to do a home and away series with them. But anyhow, so like I said, kicking off the season with Utah at home. Utah State, let me be clear. Kicking off the season with Utah State at home before we head to Stanford, number 11. So that's going to be, you know, same thing like last season. We had the second game of the season was our tough test. Second game of the season gonna be a tough test. A road game at Stanford, number 11 ranked Stanford. Then we'll have a bye to lick our wounds, get ready for the next difficult test of the season, which is a road game at our arch rivals, Houston Cougars. After that, we go back home to play South Alabama. Remember, we played them last year on the road. They were pretty tough. They weren't good, but they were good as in their record wasn't good, but they were tough. They were a tough team. Then when we come after that, the 5th game of the season is going to be against FIU at home. So we'll kick off the conference schedule against FIU at home. I mean, not at home. What I'm talking about, that's at FIU. After that, we'll come home to play Marshall. This is interesting. So in the 4 years that Don Newman has been, this will be the 4th year. So the 3 years prior, this will be the first time that Rice has played Marshall since Don Newman has been at the helm. Because you know, Conference USA has two sides. Then you have UTEP on the road after Marshall. Remember, we beat them down pretty soundly the last 2 seasons. After UTEP, we come back home to play UTSA. After that, back on the road to North Texas. Then back at home, so you see we go home away, home away, home away. Back at home for Southern Miss. Then we have our second bye of the season before we go on the road to UAB. That'll be a tough one. Then we'll end the regular season off at home with La Tech. So the conference cadence is similar to prior seasons. And that will be the schedule. Next, we got the conference outlook. So for conference outlook, well, since we're here, we might as well just go through it. We got your Rice Owls on top of Conference USA West. We're overall, we're now a 4-star prestige team. So you see, it's getting up there. Overall 84. Offense 88, defense 82, so we're getting better. This season, the challenge will be that we got a new offensive and defensive coordinator, so new coordinators under Don Newman. Let's see here, UAB. Do we have any competition in the conference? I'm looking for. It does not appear to be so. Maybe La Tech at 79, Southern Miss at 79, but oh, Utah about to get smashed. But other than that, it doesn't look like it. On the east side, oh, Florida Atlantic, but we kind of beat them down last year. We might meet them in the championship game. That's always possible. Let's see. Mid Tennessee State is a 79. FIU is a 79. We got them on the schedule. Western Kentucky is a 79. So you can see clearly Marshall's a 75 and Charlotte 74. The east side of the Conference USA is much stronger than the west side. Also, FYI, I'm using version 18 of the Revamped. I stopped at 18, so basically I don't have James Madison. I think it's James Madison. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to play with James Madison. At this point, this is where I freeze the game and basically don't take any more updates. But anyway, so we'll run through it. Over on the ACC, they got Clemson at the top, Miami, North Carolina, FSU. So some of their top teams just scrolling through. Looking at their overalls. And the ACC Atlantic. Clemson on top of that. Next, Florida State. Then NC State. 95, 93, 91. 81, 81, 84, 75, yeah. Remember, we played Clemson last year in the Peach Bowl, and that was such a good game. ACC Coastal, Miami's on top of that with a 93 overall rating. North Carolina looks good. They're ranked 20. So just above us. Georgia Tech, or below us, I should say. Georgia Tech, third, 81. We're rated higher than Georgia Tech. We should have put them on the schedule. Over in the American, SMU is at the top of that. They're ranked 25. They look like they're not going to finish 25 though. Tulane look like they could be the top team in the American. American got some teams. Oh, damn. Damn, Houston looked good this year. Wait a minute. The American look pretty strong. You could definitely say they're stronger than Conference USA for sure. except for they don't have a Rice. But look at this. Eastern Carolina is at 84. They're at the top of American East. USF is at 81. Temple's at 83. Temple. Cincinnati's at 84. Remember, the first year of this Dynasty series, Temple won the playoffs, the 18 playoffs. Temple was the small team to get in, and they won the whole thing. UCF is 83 and Navy's a 72. But I will say also too, Temple ain't been the same since. They've been struggling to get back up. So not really a dynasty for them. On the west side of the American, SMU is slated to win at 79, but I don't see that happening. They're ranked 25, but look what's below them. Memphis is at 81. Tulane is 86. Their offense is 90. A defense is 85. Tulane is about to wreck some stuff. Damn, Tulane looks hella good, man. I can't. I'm gonna see. It's gonna be interesting to see where they finish the year at, because they look really good right now at the beginning of the year. BYU is at 81. I think they've won this conference championship several times. Remember, this is not true in real life. BYU is not in the American. I just put them in here for the dynasty. I wish I knew how to. If I knew how to edit myself to edit jerseys and fields where you could, you know, put the conference patch on the jersey and put the conference on the field. I would really get busy on the conference makeup, but being that it is what it is, like I said earlier, we're gonna freeze right now on volume 18. I may eventually figure out how to do that, but for now, this is what it is. All right, now look at Houston. Look, Tulane is at 86. Bust down. Houston is at 86 too. The American is stacked, and we got Houston on the schedule every season. This is our arch. This is like Houston and Rice is like USC, UCLA, you know what I'm saying? Or like, what's another one? I don't know, what, Florida State, or like, do Texas and Texas A&M play each other every year? That part I don't know, but the point is, they're arch rivals, so even if they're not in the same conference, they play each other every year, at least in this dynasty world, they will. But, yeah, so it's gonna be a good season. I mean, it's gonna be another good game this year. They're 86. They didn't have a good season last year at all. We had a way better year than them. Tulsa's in 72. Tulsa's our other rivals. We used to play them. I don't play them every season. As you can see, they're only at 72. It's not a good rivalry when they're not good, but we'll definitely keep Houston on there no matter what. All right, so moving along in the Big 12. Texas is slated to win that. They're a 93 overall, 4-star. Under them, Oklahoma State. Who won this last year? I think Oklahoma State won it last year, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correct. If the old man memory serves them correct. Oklahoma State is at 83 this year. Yep, they're rated number 12. Texas is 10. Oklahoma's 14. They're 91 overall. Kansas 1-star is at 83 overall. Texas Tech, TCU. Oh, look at Iowa State. They might do some damage. Keep an eye out for them. They might do some damage in this conference. That's the thing too. If I could, you know, move things around, I would extend the Big 12. I definitely wouldn't follow in real life. Conference alignment is about to get like out of control. It already kind of is, but it's about to get super silly. Okay, so let's see in the Big 10. This is the overall. Ohio State number 3 overall, 95. They're good. They were in the playoffs last year. Same with Michigan. They're 95. These two teams go neck and neck every year for Big 10. Nebraska's 18. They're 86 overall. Oh, look at Penn State. 91 overall. Michigan State is at 84. Maryland's at 84. Purdue's at 81. Iowa, ooh, Iowa looks good. Ooh, Wisconsin looks good, but they didn't do too well last year. In this series, in this dynasty. I'm not talking real life. I'm talking the dynasty. Illinois is at 83. Indiana. So those are the bottom feeders, the bottom dwellers of the Big Ten. Division-wise, on the east side, Ohio State and Michigan. See, they're both in the same division, which is why they won't play for conference championships. On the west side of the division, they got Nebraska at the top. So you can see the east side is much stronger than the west side of the Big Ten. But the Big Ten is still strong nonetheless. We already went through Conference USA first. We can skip through to the independents. Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 91, but man, they're over 90 every year, and every year they're no good on this dynasty. Army's a 72. See, the MAC. Remember NIU? They didn't win the whole thing, but they were the small team that made it the second year of this dynasty. So the first year of the dynasty, Cincinnati was the small team to make the playoffs, and they won it. The second year of the dynasty, NIU was the team that made it, and I think they didn't get past the first round. They lost the first round. And then last year, the third year of the dynasty, we were the team, your Rice Owls. All right, so here's NIU. They're slated to be at the top of the MAC. They got a mini dynasty going on here. They're 86 overall. They're looking really good. They're pretty good in this dynasty. As you can see, the other teams in the MAC don't really come close to them. So and they're the team that's holding up the conference overall. So on the MAC East, got Miami, Ohio, 81 overall. That's not too bad. That's still good, but nothing but 70s below them. Two teams at 75, and then the rest are bottom feeders. Then on the east side, Northern Illinois, that 86 is. I look at teams in comparison to where we are, and again, let's see where we are. We are Conference USA West. Our overall is an 84, right? So if NIU is coming with an 86 overall, they're pretty good. Toledo 77, Central Michigan 81, 77, 70. Yeah, so oops, didn't mean to do that. So you know, Northern Illinois most likely will win the MAC, but we'll see how it plays out. Over on the Mountain West, Boise State slated to win that. They're an 81 overall. And let's see, Mountain West is not too good. UNLV is the only other 80 team. They're 81 with 1 star. Wow. I wonder what that means. But they got a couple, too many 60s. So this conference is just sliding low, But Boise State on top. On the mountain side, 2 teams. Oh wow, we played Utah State. That's my bad, y'all. I should have verified them. I should have looked at their overall before I scheduled them. They really cupcake. 68. They on our schedule, y'all. We're gonna smash this team. Okay, on the west side, San Diego State is slated to win the west side of the conference, 79 overall. But I see UNLV doing it. We'll see how it goes. It also looks like the west side of the conference is the stronger side. On the back, Pac-12, Oregon State Beavers, number 5 team in the nation, only 84 overall. We're 84 overall. But they're the team. They're the defending Pac-12 championship champions. They were in the playoffs last year. Number 2, Stanford is 90 overall, and they're on our schedule. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, you know, with us playing Stanford, we might try to make this a mini. You know how Tulsa isn't so good, and so that rivalry, and those are regional rivalries. You know, our rivalry with Tulsa and our rivalry with Houston. You know, Houston is local. They're like right next door, but and then Tulsa being in Oklahoma is regional, right? But I want to start a mini while Don Newman is at Rice. I'm gonna start a mini rivalry with Stanford and possibly even Notre Dame too. But for Stanford specifically though, our rivalry, I want to call it the Smarty Pants Bowl or the Smarty Pants Trophy, because these two schools, you know, have really high academic standards. But yeah, so that's my little joke on that. So that's Stanford, number 2 in the Pac-12, and they are on our schedule, so they sort of make up for us having that 68 team on there, Utah State. Then you got Utah, number 3, they're 86 overall. UCLA is a 79 at number 4. Damn, look at Arizona State, 88 overall. Cal is 88 overall. USC is 91. Pac-12 looking good around here. Damn, Pac-12 is strong as hell. Look at that. We haven't gotten to the SEC yet, but so far this looks like the most competitive conference right here. It'll be interesting to see who wins the Pac-12. They look strong from top to bottom. On the north, damn, I want to say Stanford, but then you get to Oregon at 93 and they only 3 stars. They got a roster. On the south side, Utah's 86. Like I said, they slated to win it, but you got a couple teams better than them. USC and Arizona State got something to say about that. So that's going to be good. Now the SEC. Look at that. Alabama, the defending national champions. Number 1 coming in at 97 overall. Texas A&M are the defending conference champions. They won the conference championship last year. On here, they're number 2 overall with a 95. Florida's 97. Georgia's 91. South Carolina 84. LSU's 91. Auburn 84. Arkansas's at 86. Kentucky's at 83. Tennessee 88. Missouri 83. Ole Miss 84. Their bottom dwellers, the 2 are 77 and 74. Yeah, SEC is stacked. They're ridiculously competitive. This is just as in real life the premier conference in the game. So they got Florida on top of the SEC West at 97 overall. I can see that happening, but we'll see what happens. On the west side, SEC West is stacked. 3 teams over 90. Alabama 97, Texas A&M 95, and LSU 91. They just gonna beat up on each other. Alright, and then we'll finish it with the Sun Belt. Trojans are in the top 25. They're ranked higher than us in the 79 overall. I should have put them on the schedule and whooped them. Coastal Carolina, Texas State, we played them last year. They're 74. This team, or this conference, is a bunch of 70s. So that's the conference overview for you. All right, now let's take a look at our roster. Now, I'm excited about this roster, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Real quick on the overall tip, you can see the top player on the team, Kalen Griffin, came back for his senior season. When we got here, he was just a freshman. Now he's a senior at 91. This year we got, damn, we got a handful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 players with 99 awareness. They're all seniors, but yeah. So we got senior leadership on the team, basically, is what that means. Oh, real quick. And right here, check this out. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. 12 players that at least got 90 speed. So, you know, our crusade to make this an extremely fast team continues. And they're just getting there. Most of the speed is in our quarterback room. So we may have a quarterback controversy, y'all, with Rodgers and Jakari Jackson. And I'm gonna try to get away with redshirting Jakari Jackson. This may not work, but we're gonna see. Now, if we have trouble with this, for one, if we lose him to the transfer portal, I'm gonna be pissed. But then for two, what I may have to do, because technically Jackson might be the better, if he's a freshman at 84 and his awareness is already at 81, right? But the reason why I'm redshirting him and not starting him is because his throwing awareness is, throwing accuracy. You see that? So if you compare the two, he has a stronger arm, but he's not, like Rodgers' accuracy is way better and he still has a decent arm at 81. So I don't really care about the awareness. And look at his speed. His speed being 90, you know, makes up for the awareness bit. So, and he's young. So for this year, I decided we're gonna roll with James Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? We've been developing him. He's been in the system now for 3 years, but Jakari Jackson is the better long-term option. But if we take the time to try to develop him like how we've been developing James Rodgers, what I may do is, if we can keep them both on the team when the next year rolls around, and if Jakari, you know, don't transfer, what I'll do is I may end up moving James Rodgers back to wide receiver. Because if you recall, last season he played wide receiver for us, and I believe it helped him a lot. Actually, his awareness is up to 74, and he's ready to rock and roll now as a starting quarterback. But yeah, so next year, if Jakari Jackson stays on the team, if he stays with us and returns, I may move Rodgers over to wide receiver, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Then we got the ultimate backups, Dallas Panacea and Ireland Goddard. Dallas is just 1 point higher than Ireland. Another redshirt freshman, Charlie Zellers. We'll see if he can survive on the roster. I kept him just as a developmental project because he has decent speed, but you know, we'll see. This is their awareness. Let me show you their like I said, the throwing power and accuracy. So Jakari, the freshman coming in, he got the strongest arm. Panacea has a fairly strong arm. Goddard had more stars than Panacea in the recruiting, but Panacea is a better quarterback, as you can see. And like I said, we'll see what Zellers can develop into. In terms of accuracy, Rodgers is the most accurate. Panacea is second. Jackson and Goddard are about the same. But the whole point is, since Don Newman been here, the only year we had quarterback troubles was that first year. Dixon gone now. I'm excited to see Rodgers. I think Rodgers may actually be, see, that's the thing. Rodgers is better than Dixon, and Jakari Jackson is better than Rodgers. So In other words, we've elevated that quarterback position nicely. All right. Moving on to halfback. Like I said, Kalen Griffin came back for his senior year. That was a blessing because we didn't do well. Well, I won't say we didn't do well. We did extremely well recruiting at halfback. We just did more quantity over quality, right? So this dude right here, the true freshman, Akeem McWilson, he won't start obviously, but he will be playing and he will get a lot of time. He's the number 2 running back and he's going to be the number 1 returner. I'll get to that when I show the depth chart, but this dude coming in, he's the future number 1 back. He's going to be a beast. He's better than Kalen Griffin. I'm gonna put it out there right now. Now he's just a freshman, you know, like we've been with Kalen Griffin. I can't remember. I'll have to look back. I think Kalen Griffin was only a 75 as a freshman when we came in, but look at the speed though. Speed difference right there. 92 to 83. Imagine if Kalen Griffin had 92 speed. Ball carrier vision is better. As a freshman, his ball carrier vision is already better than Kalen Griffin. He's more elusive than Kalen Griffin. Now, he's not better at breaking tackles yet, just yet, but he's only a freshman though. Remember, keep in mind. His stiff arm is already at 80. His spin move is better. His juke move is better. He can't carry as much as well. You know, he's not there yet. And he's a smaller back, but just look at that though. His route running is better. He's the best route running back on the team. He can jump higher, meaning he's more athletic. We already said he's faster. I think he had more acceleration and more agility. No, their agility is the same, but yeah, he has more acceleration. So this kid right here, coming in as a freshman, I'm excited about him. He's gonna be good to watch, but pairing these two up, so he's gonna be the backup now. He's gonna take Juma's spot. Yep, so McWilson, he's gonna get a lot of touches. Then behind the two of them, Jeff Holmes, the redshirt freshman. Remember from Richland. Remember he came in as an athlete. He can play quarterback, but you saw how packed that quarterback room is. So see there, he can hang with the quarterbacks that are in that room. His throwing power is up to 80 and his throwing accuracy is at 75. So if worst case scenario, if anything ever happened in that quarterback room, we could put him there. But as you can see, we're kind of light in this halfback room. These two freshmen right here, we didn't recruit either one of them. They magically ended up in our signing class and on the team, and I figured we could keep them and redshirt them, but we don't have any plans for these two guys. My plan, well, we do have a plan for these two. My plan is to recruit their replacements, basically, and just cut them. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see if they defy the odds, but that's what my plan for them is. Fullbacks, we got two fullbacks. That redshirt year didn't really do nothing for Zane McLaurin. He was a 67 freshman. After his redshirt year, he's only a 68. But we'll see if he can continue to develop this year and come back in higher next year, because he'll be the starter if we don't recruit a guy better than him. 1 second. Okay, and then Johnson the third, and for his senior year at 77. He's one of the 99 awareness players we have that I pointed out. I think Zane McLaurin is gonna be pretty good though, because he's the converted tight end, so his receiving ratings are much better. But I'm trying to get to his blocking. As you can see, his pass blocking isn't, but his run blocking is comparable. I think McLaurin is going to be pretty decent. He just didn't really develop much in that redshirt season. Those are our two fullbacks. Our wide receivers. Wide receiver room is kind of thin, but we're getting faster and we're getting better. Carlos Liston has made his way to the top of the list. He's now wide receiver 1 as a true junior. His first 2 years have been pretty good, but this year he looks to have a breakout season. He's over 93 in speed. He's pretty good. Andrew Mason is coming in for his senior season. He's an 83 overall now. Speed is decent, 86. Then we have the converted halfback Pierre Jones. He just finished his first full year at wide receiver last year. He had a decent wide receiver year. He's up to 81. He's wide receiver number 3 for us. He had a couple of he was pretty good for getting open and having Dixon finding him and bailing him out on a couple of third downs last season. He was good for that. Then Bentley, if you recall, Bentley is the guy we recruited in. He's a redshirt junior. We recruited him as a JUCO junior, but we really liked his speed. His acceleration, as you can see, ain't nothing to brag about at 75, but he still got that speed though, that raw speed, 95. I think he might be, hold on, is he the fastest? Let me see. He might be the fastest guy on the team. Yep. Ed Bentley is the fastest guy on the team. Now he don't have the, hold on. He doesn't have the most acceleration. The most explosive guy on the team is Andrew Mason. But the fastest is Bentley. Oops. So Bentley he comes in as the number 4 guy, even though White is better, because you know White is a redshirt freshman and they're both rated 70. Bentley's a redshirt junior, so the older guy at the same rate is obviously behind the younger guy, but I'm gonna keep Bentley in front of him because of the speed. You know, the speed, we got to get that out there. Then redshirting this year, the true freshman who's sitting on the bench to redshirt is BJ Jones, another speedster. His speed is at 93. So as you can see, there's a theme, you know, we're trying to keep speed on this team. Kind of being like the baby Raiders. Maybe not the Raiders of today, but you know, back in the day. The Al Davis Raiders. Okay, so Mason and Bentley are our most aware receivers. We'll see how that plays out. Carlos Liston has the best hands. Bentley can't really catch. That's going to be, it might be troublesome. We'll see if he has issue with drops. Pierre Jones is the best route runner. So that goes back to what I was telling you about him getting open on those third downs. That goes to his route running. I think Carlos Liston is the best athlete of the receivers. But yeah, for the most part, that's our receiver room. Tight ends, we got 3. Chase Hardy coming back. Remember, hold on. Chase Hardy was a part of that second recruiting class. He was a JUCO sophomore that we brought in. He played alongside, I can't even remember the guy's name now, but the tight end we had last year. I think it was Brady. But yeah, so he'll be the starter this year. 74 overall. Behind him, Junior Gilliam and Donald Freeman, the two redshirt freshmen. The three of them were in the same recruiting class. Hardy was a JUCO junior. I'm sorry, JUCO sophomore. These two were freshmen, but I were able to redshirt these two. So now they're redshirt freshmen and able to contribute. You see their speed, so we're about to get faster at that tight end spot. Hardy's speed is decent, but you know, these two dudes are much faster. You see the acceleration. You can see their catching abilities. Gilliam is the best route. Gilliam is damn near a receiver in a tight end's body, basically. He can't block at all. That's his Achilles, is the blocking. Freeman's the best catcher of the tight ends. Then I'll show you here the blocking. So we'll keep Hardy as the starter, but you know, that's that. Oh, look at the time. We're already at the 40-some minute mark, so we most likely will not get into the playbook or the team practice on this episode, but we'll keep moving and try to move a bit faster through this. So the O-line on the tackle spot, remember this was last year, this was our starting center. We moved him to left tackle for his redshirt junior year, so that his next 2 years be basically protecting our quarterback's blind side. And you know, why not? We moved him over and he's at 83, so that's another. Then you got Darius McGirt Jr., a freshman from our recruiting class last year. We're gonna try to get away with redshirting him this year to develop him, but he looks like his future is bright. 72 redshirt freshman. Behind him, Miles Frank. He's a sophomore, but he was a JUCO sophomore, so he was in the class last year too. So he's also a new guy on the team. We brought him in the recruiting class. We're gonna redshirt him as well. So we got two guys at the future of the tackle spot, looking strong. Basically a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman, but it's about to be a year gap in there. Wait, hold on. Let me get this on film before I go there. Let me show their blocking. Okay, so another 85 pass block, 83 run block, 88 impact blocking. And that's the two guys behind him. McGirt, as a freshman though, you know, he looks pretty good. We gotta keep an eye on his development, but he looks like he's gonna be a good one. Left tackle. So then our left guard spot, Isaiah Floyd is now a senior. He's coming in for his he's a fifth-year senior. Behind him is Jack Guy, a freshman who's going to redshirt. He was another guy in that class last year. And behind him is Jabari White, a redshirt sophomore. At 6'5", 310. He's only a 70 though, so I feel like he's kind of lagging. His development isn't quite where we would like it to be, but we'll see how it continues to progress. You look at their blocking skills. He's a decent blocker though. And you can see Isaiah Floyd is the man. Jack Guy, for a freshman, his run blocking is coming in at 83 already, so he's gonna be good for that line in the future. Somewhat oversized in height, but obviously we don't care about that. At the center spot, we put Isaac Kwarkowski back to center. Remember last year We moved him over and he played right tackle. He started at right tackle. But we moved him back over to center. He's an 89, fifth year for his senior season, a fifth year senior. Behind him is a junior, Josh Porter. Then we got Brandon Ward, and then Lawrence Hicks is the redshirt freshman. Ward, I want to say Ward was in this class. He was a JUCO sophomore, so he was a new pickup, which is why you see him redshirting. That red shirt on him is because this is his first year in the program. Karkowski's the strongest guy. See what their blocking looks like. Karkowski 82, 89, 88. Porter pretty high on impact blocking and run blocking. He most likely will be the starter next year after Karkowski graduates. Ward will sit the will redshirt this year. I don't say sit the bench. And then Hicks is continuing to develop. He most likely won't see the field. All right, right guard, Faye Pepe, the redshirt junior, coming in at 77, super strong. Behind him is Alex Bivin, the senior, 6'6", 267. He's small, and remember, Bivin was a JUCO junior in last year's class, so this is. He's a 2-and-done guy. I didn't get to redshirt him last year. And I didn't want to adjust it either because he actually played last year. So for these two guys, let's just look at their blocking ratings. Pepe still under 80 on both sides, but his impact blocking is good. Bivin's impact, but that's another reason why I wasn't worried about trying to hold Bivens back longer. But you know, he provides depth, and that's about it. All right, so that's the blocking from the right guards. The top one is a 77. Then on the right tackle side, Che Felipe, redshirt junior, coming in, he's 79. Behind him, Jason Russell, redshirt sophomore, is a 70. That's kind of low. And behind him is the redshirt freshman Noah Beaver, or a freshman who will redshirt, Noah Beaver, 69. Felipe's pretty strong. Actually, they're all three of them pretty strong, but Felipe is really strong at 90. And they're blocking. Felipe got a good blocking stat line, 81, 82, 82. Russell, the redshirt junior, he's more of a pass blocker than a run blocker, but that's fine. He'll continue to develop. And then Beaver looks like he'll be pretty good down the line. And that's our O-line. The D-line, Josh Percy, remember he's the converted, we converted him from outside linebacker to defensive end when we first got here. He's now a senior. Behind him, Brandon Greer, the freshman, one of the two freshmen that we had that were at the top of our recruiting class last year. That's the future of this D-line, Brandon Greer. On the other side, Chris Hill, he's an 82. Wait, real quick. Just want to look at their strength. Greer comes in stronger as a freshman, stronger than the fifth-year senior. Our D-line just really got elevated with this freshman class. Chris Hill, 83 strength. That's crazy. 81 speed at the defensive end spot. He's about to be a monster. Then behind him, Blake Henry, the sophomore. Blake Henry, so I guess he was in last year's class from what I recall. Wait, hold on, let me check on that Blake Henry. Yep, that's right, Blake Henry was in last year's class. Alright, and then we have Jayton Lacey, the junior. He was in this year's class. We'll see. I mean, he's still on the roster this year. We'll see if he continues to survive. The defensive tackle, Caleb James is now a senior, 83 overall. Jalen Hargrove behind him is a redshirt junior. And the redshirt freshman Lance Washington behind him. And then Cole Lados. Remember, Cole used to be a defensive end. We moved him over to defensive tackle because the other defensive tackle, who was a freshman alongside Washington, transferred out, if I remember correctly. So in response to that, we ended up moving Lados over from defensive end to defensive tackle. And these are the 4 defensive tackles we have. Their strength is decent. We'll see, but as a complete line between our defensive tackles and our defensive end, we're pretty strong on that D line in the trenches. I think we I think we're definitely better in the trenches this year than we were last year. All right, so let's look at our linebackers. Outside linebacker, Adrian Bickham. He had a good junior year last year, coming in for his 5th year senior year, and he's now up to 83 overall. Behind him, Greg Thomas. He was a junior in last year's recruiting class. We were able to redshirt him, so now he's a redshirt junior. Then behind both of them, Michael Fuller. He was a sophomore in this year's recruiting class, so he was a JUCO sophomore. We're gonna redshirt him this year. So basically what we did with Greg Thomas last year, we're doing with Fuller this year. Just wanna look at their tackling. His tackle rate is low, but he's pretty good. He plays higher than that tackle rating. Greg Thomas's tackle rating is higher, and possibly because of his hit, no, not his hit power, but possibly because of his play recognition. Play recognition is a 95, and he can cover well. 83, 84 cover, yeah, that's where it is. That's why he's so good. Middle linebacker, we got another new middle linebacker, a guy who was on the team already developing, Terrence Ellis. He's now a 5th year senior. The top middle linebacker at 78. Behind him, true freshman, Mackenzie Balderi from Montana. And behind them, Chris Donaldson. I'm kind of disappointed, man. This was a converted outside linebacker that we moved to middle linebacker. He looked like he would be a better middle linebacker. We redshirted him, and he regressed in the off-season training. So we'll see. We'll continue to watch his development. Hopefully he gets better. But you can see right there, his awareness is only at 34. That's really what's doing it. What I'm gonna do is make some tweaks to the formations, the sub formations, and I'm gonna make sure that he's on the special teams, which should hopefully help his awareness. All right, then the other outside linebacker spot, we got our man Ryan Bush coming in for his redshirt sophomore season. He plays way higher than that overall rating. Now, last year he was only at 73. This year though, he's up to 76. He had a hell of a redshirt freshman year. Oh man, hell of a redshirt freshman year. I'm excited for this year. He's super fast, as you can see, 88 speed, decent strength, 76. He's the man. Behind him, Jeff Johnson. Now, if you remember, Jeff Johnson is a converted safety. We converted him last year to safety and redshirted him. So, yeah, that's him now. And he actually has advanced beyond the redshirt senior Chike and Nigobu. So his future is relatively bright there, at least as a backup to Bush, because I don't see him leapfrogging Bush anytime soon. But he'll serve as a decent backup. And Gubu, number 5, if you remember, he still got a lot of playing time last year, even though he didn't start. So you can look for Jeff Johnson to pick that up. All right, moving on. Our cornerbacks. As you can see, we got way faster on the cornerbacks. They're all over 90 now. And whoever else wasn't over 90, we moved them to a safety spot. But now our cornerbacks are all over 90. Caden Griffin, the junior, he was a JUCO junior in this year's recruiting class, so he's new to the team. Behind him, Jimmy Sanders. I'm excited about this guy, the redshirt sophomore. 6'4", 185. This is our Sauce Gardner right here. But yeah, he had a pretty good pick last year, one of the games in mop-up duty. This dude was gonna be the man. He was an athlete when he came in, and we converted him to cornerback. And he's developing nicely, up to 74 now for his redshirt sophomore season. All right, behind those two guys, Marquise Miller, another redshirt sophomore corner. His development has been a little bit slower, so hopefully he can take a leap this year. Same with the next guy, Blake Simpson, another redshirt sophomore. So the 3 of them came in the same class, and 2 of them are slow in development. Both have yet to hit 70. Okay, behind them is Claude Mullins, the newest addition to the other one, beyond Griffin. Griffin is also a new addition. But Claude Mullins, a freshman who will redshirt this year from Sarasota Springs, New York. And then I'm so disappointed, man. Jamal Dyke, our redshirt freshman. We redshirted him last year and he dropped. I think he came in as an overall 66 or 67 or something. And he regressed down to 63 in his redshirt year. So hopefully he can make up for that. We'll see. And hopefully he can continue to stay on the team. Oh wait, real quick before I move on from these guys. Oh wait, I keep saying oh wait, huh? I don't know if I showed the tackling from here's the tackling from my linebackers, my middles. And see, his tackling is good. I think he'll get better if he get playing time. And then from my outside, look at Bush tackling is up to 80. The combination of his speed, 88, and his tackling, 80, he's a monster. A monster. And then wait, let's see, where is his coverage? His coverage is alright, but the tackling though, all day. Alright, for my corners, let's look at their coverage. Kadeem Griffin, man, coming in at over 80 on both man and zone. Sanders is getting there. His zone coverage is over 80. His man is getting up. Mullins is not a man guy. Dyke is not a zone guy. That's probably why he went down. Alright, next up is our safeties. Here's a name that looks familiar, Sean Fresh. Now a senior and now a free safety. He's gonna take over for Bird. Remember, our Bird, he has now graduated and moved on. He was our security blanket for so many years, but he's no longer here. So we have Fresh. Behind him, Lockhart. 2 seniors. So Fresh is a senior, Lockhart is a 5th-year senior. Fresh came, moved positions, and took over. Behind them, Daquan Dexter is now a redshirt freshman at 71. Behind them, Isaiah Johnson. If I'm not mistaken, I did not recruit Isaiah Johnson, but he ended up with a scholarship and on the team. So we'll see. We'll see if he can survive. Same with those running backs. My plan is to recruit his replacement. So we'll see if he can beat that. Oh, but real quick, so our safeties. What's important for my safeties are tackling and coverage. And you see, this is why Fresh got higher than Lockhart. The converted safety is the best tackle and free safety at 71. And then coverage wise, he has better coverage, so it was a no-brainer. Better man and zone coverage. So he's gonna hold it down in Bird's absence. On the strong safety side, Gabe Taylor, man, also a team captain alongside Kalen Griffin, but I feel like he's been on the team forever. He's been here from day one, a senior alongside Kalen Griffin, and he really holds it down at that safety spot. I think he's a four-year starter too. Behind him, 5th-year senior Scott Bray. He came in not in this most recent class, but our first recruiting class as a junior, a JUCO junior, and I think we redshirted him. And now he's about to graduate. So he's at 77, and I think he was an athlete too, if I'm not mistaken. Behind those two guys, the redshirt freshman Cameron Slade. I had high hopes for him. He almost transferred. We had to talk him in the stand. So we'll see if we can continue to keep him. And just like that middle linebacker, I'm going to make sure I put him on the special teams. I'll make sure he gets special teams time. And behind them is Karen Fells. He's continuing to develop. He's up to 70. So these are our safeties. Our strong safeties. Yeah, Taylor with that tackle. Basically, so 2 seniors and 2 freshmen. And then their coverage. Gabe Taylor, man, he can cover. Slade's coverage is suspect. That's why his development didn't really go. I don't think he moved. I don't think he moved at all. But those are our safeties. Our kickers, Justin Harris, now in his junior season. Golden Leg Harris. Mendez. Oh wait, that's a senior season? I'm sorry, y'all. If I said senior, I meant junior. And then Charlie Mendez, the senior, the 5th-year senior, he's at 88. Harris is 86. So yeah, so that's the squad, man. That's the roster. That's the squad for the season. We are excited. Real quick, let me just run through the depth chart. No surprises, really, I don't think. Surprises as in a lower rated player starting over a higher rated player, or like how we did last year where Clarkowski was the number 2 center and we moved him to right tackle. I don't think there's any of that, but we'll run through it quickly and see. So Rogers starting quarterback, obvious. Kalen Griffin starting running back, obvious. What may not be obvious is what may not be obvious is number 4. We moved Pierre Jones we put as the number 4 running back. Remember, he came in as an athlete. His first year we had him at running back, but he was he redshirted that year, so he didn't play. Redshirt, quote unquote. Then the next year, last year, we had him at wide receiver, where he's still at. He's still at wide receiver, but you know, he get to play mop up halfback duties now. So that's that. Running back, our fullbacks, Johnson III, McLaurin, and then Freeman to back both of them up. The wide receivers, Liston, Mason, Pierre Jones number 3, Bentley's number 4. I mentioned that already, that he is going to be higher than Adonis because of the speed. And then Gilliam, the tight end, is in that number 6 slot. Last year it was the quarterback, and our starting quarterback was in that number 6 slot, but now that he's the starting quarterback, Gilliam is the guy. Alright, tight end, Hardy. Freeman is over Gilliam because of the blocking. They're both at 70, but Freeman is a better blocker. Alright, tight end, you knew it was Nutter. Porter's serving as backup, and Bivin, because the other 2 tackles are redshirting. Then at guard, Floyd is the man. That's a given. At center, but at least you guys can see who the backups are, what our depth look like on the depth chart. Right guard, you knew it was Pepe. But those are the backups. Basically, Porter and Bivin are the main 2 backups across the line. Defensive end, Percy, Greer, Henry, Hill, Grill, Henry. D tackle, James, Hargrove, Washington, Lados, and Greer. Tackles, I'm sorry, outside linebacker, Jeff Johnson. The middle linebacker, we basically got outside linebackers backing up right now. McKenzie may or may not redshirt. It depends. He may or may not get into any of the games. If he doesn't, we'll redshirt him. Bush is the man on this side. Johnson behind him. Thomas behind him. Actually, I'm gonna put, because he's a senior and he made the team, so if he can get in, we'll get him in. Okay, our corners, Griffin and Sanders are the 1-2 punch. Lockhart I put at number 3. I may change that at some point in the year for these other 2 to develop, but for now we'll go with this because Lockhart is a senior, 5th-year senior, and he's not starting at safety. Then the safeties, free safety, Fresh, Lockhart, Bray. Strong safety, Taylor, Bray, Slade. Kicker, you already know what the deal is. Kicker, punter. Kick return, like I said, Akeem McWilson will be our new kick returner. Behind him, Mason. Last year it was Mason and Uma Octaviano. So this year it'll be Akeem McWilson and Mason. And then Akeem McWilson will also do punt return. Last year it was Bailey, who has graduated on. So yeah, that is the depth chart, man. That's the squad, and we are ready for the season. Yep. So these episodes are definitely too long to include the playbook overview and the team practice, but it is what it is, y'all. So we're excited. Season 4 coming at you. We're about to have one hell of a season. So we'll see you for the next game, for the first game, game number 1 coming up. And take care. Peace.